So when I think about that, like just even in my own musical run, there's times where I'll just keep to myself. There's times where I'm like, oh man, I was stuck to my code there. And other times where I'm like, man, I acted like a fucker there. Like I was just like a dummy. Like, why did I do that? And then if I extrapolate that out, like playing in bands with people where you're like, yeah, like that was really bad what happened. Or where you're like, damn, I'm super proud to play in a band with you. Like you're so like you did, you're great. Like you really like held the line for all of us. And people can help you make good choices. But then you extrapolate out, then you've got your record label, then you've got your booking agent, then you've got your manager. There's a lot of X factors in having people operate on a kind of generally assumed ethical code. So being a guy that came up in this scene and came up with a very certain specific set of generally assumed we're all playing on the same playing field here ethically, but also knowing you're going to bump up against people who aren't. And I'm not saying they're good people or bad people, because myself included, everyone can make mistakes and be a fucker sometimes and all that. How do you more often than not make good decisions and keep things going the right way for your artists?
Sometimes I wish I'd figured out stuff a lot earlier in life, learning to navigate through stuff. And one of the things that I've learned, like, um, I can be, I can be as petty as anybody else. I can be a gatekeeper about certain things, like, oh, screw that band. They're a bunch of fakes, like and um, I make a point to make sure that my personal politics are not interfering with my artist. But if I know something or I have an opinion, I will let it be known to my artist, but my artist will make a decision. Like if a certain band wants to take them on tour, and I might go, oh, that band's not, they're not cool. They got really bad politics. Got bad personal politics. They've got bad, out on stage politics. I'll bring it. Hey, this band wants to, go on tour with you, or this band wants to take you on tour. But I need to tell you this. My opinion on this is I don't think it's a good look for you to be playing with this band. This is why. But I won't say you're not doing it because I'm the agent, and that's what it says. I let them make the decision what they do. It doesn't happen all the time, you know, and but it has happened, where I'll say, hey, this band's got a lot of ill will with people. They've burned a lot of bridges. They've said some very unpopular things in the press, or it's a known thing. You need to know this. But I let the bands make a decision. And even like I had a client that I was not really, I really had no interest in working with them because the perception they were giving of themselves online was very childish, and uh, it was just something I didn't want to work with. It's like, you know what? They can go and be them. That's just not something. And their manager was continually like, they want to work with you specifically. Like they're a fan of your bands, and they like the artists that you work with. They're fans of and they want to be. And I played polite, and just because my personal opinion on them at the time didn't matter. I was also a little too busy. Came full circle. They the manager kept asking, are you ready to work with the band? Would you like to work with them? After shooting it down twice, they were on tour with an artist that I knew, and the artist said, hey, this band, really cool people, and they're really a lot of fun to be around. So I called the manager, and I was like, actually, no, the manager called me and said, look, this is your last chance. I've got an agent that wants to work with them, but we want you to be the guy. So I ended up having the discussion with the manager and with the artist just about, hey, look, if we're going to work together, we can't, this behavior, I'm not really into it. Like, and it was just internet arguing with trolls, really. And I was like, and we had a really good talk, and the band were like, you got a lot of valid points, and they stopped. And because I was telling them, why are you arguing with these trolls? You've got a manager. You're gonna have a good booking agent, whether it's me or somebody else. You win. I go, and a lot of these people, they're arguing with you because you want to argue back. I go, you don't need to bother with this. This is negativity that gets nowhere. And I have a great relationship with this band. And it was because I spoke up and said, not really, instead of just being like, I'm busy, I was honest with the people around them. And I'm like, it's not appealing. Like, this behavior isn't appealing. And the band were like, no one's ever said that. And I didn't think about this stuff. And we have a good relationship working together.